Welcome to Football-Oranje. We're going to do a preview for the RZ Manchester United match in the Europa League with some big games coming up in European competition this week for Dutch teams, including Valencia versus Ajax, Feyenoord Porto and Rosenborg against PSV. But the one that stands out is RZ against Manchester United, and I've got two people here to discuss the game with me. I've got Mike, the Football-Oranje editor, but also Adam, who's a Manchester United fan, and he's going to give a lowdown on the United side. It's a big game, and I know that Manchester United see RZ as one of the main contenders to get out of this group. Do you think it's a game that they're going to be taken lightly? I mean, they have recently played Ajax, PSV and Feyenoord in European competition. This is RZ, it's not one of the biggest teams from the country. Do you think this United side will take RZ lightly?
I don't think they will take them lightly, given that there's been so much good press around AZ this season so far, and especially since the front three are definitely on form. And for me, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under a lot of pressure, he's going to want results, and maybe he will take this game a bit more seriously than he did probably against Statham as well, because he started a few of the reserve players in that game. And I think he'll do the same against AZ. He'll rest a few players, but if say they lose in the Premier League to Arsenal, then it's basically a must-win game for Solskjaer, because the pressure is already on him to get results. And if they lose to AZ again, then the fans will still be calling for his head. So it's a big game for both sides. I think AZ have the chance to really lay down a marker and show that just how good they are, because for me they're the third best side in the Netherlands this season. They showed that against Feyenoord the other week. They're in really good form, and I don't see why they can't beat this Man United side.
Well, it is a big game, and if there's some United fans watching this video, they're going to be wondering who are RZ Alkmaar and who are their best players. I think their front three is certainly something to watch out for, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Front three is sensational so far this season, and we knew it going into the campaign that Calvin Stengs was going to be one of the ones to watch, and he's definitely not disappointed so far. He's probably, for me, one of the standout talents the Netherlands have at the moment, and I really think he should be in the Netherlands squad. Then you got Myron Boadu, who's come back from a serious knee injury last season, and he's scoring goals, laying off assists. And Idrissi as well is the older one of the three at 22, but he's chipped in with 6 goals in the league so far. Only one or two players got more than him. So yeah, it's a front three that's on fire, connects so well, and really on their game they can trouble anyone. I think they will trouble Man United's defence.
That's right. We're looking at some of the future of the Dutch national team in this RZ side. Myron Boadu, a teenage striker, really quick, but also fuelled by Calvin Stengs out wide, who plays in the right wing, inverted winger, who's really going to unleash loads of shots, I think, upon the United goal. Yeah, Idrissi, he's a bit older, isn't he? But he's a Moroccan winger who he's been working really well with Boadu and Stengs. In midfield, you've got Michio, who's a really energetic midfielder. But I think where United can exploit this Alkmaar side is the defence. Bizo is a decent goalkeeper. We've got Ron Vlaar, who used to play for Aston Villa. I think a few United fans will know his name. But the full-backs, Jonas Svensson is one of the finest right-backs in the Eredivisie, and Owen Wijndal is another prospect for the Netherlands in the future, who plays at left-back. But it's overall quite a young team, isn't it? And it's a very difficult game for RZ, even though we have a bit of optimism and their front three can take chances if they're given to them. But I think they're going to be a little bit open defensively.
Yeah, I mean, the only worry for this AZ side is the defence and the lack of pace in the defence. If Man United do start with some speedy attackers like Rashford, then there's the opportunities always to get in behind the likes of Ron Vlaar, who had sticky moments last season, but has been excellent so far this campaign. But there's always those opportunities. He's going to have one lapse of concentration and let somebody in behind him. I need to watch out for that. But yeah, I think it's overall this AZ side so balanced well around the pitch, and you've got Koop Miners in midfield as well. Has had a great start to the season. He's the captain, young midfielder, Netherlands under 21 international. Already people are saying that he should be in the Netherlands squad as well. He really holds everything together in midfield, spreads the passes around, and he's another one to watch.
It's a very young team, and young teams can be inconsistent. But yes, we are looking at some of the biggest prospects of Dutch football, and if you're thinking, oh, where's the next Frenkie de Jong going to come from, then it could be from this RZ team. You've got Koopman as midfield, as you mentioned, Mike. The two of that front three, Boadu and Stengs, but also Wijndal at left back. There's plenty to expect from this game then, and hopefully it's a cracker and there's plenty of goals to enjoy. What's your prediction for the game, Mike? Because I'm thinking there's going to be loads of goals in this.
Yeah, I'm going to be really positive and say that AZ are going to win 2-1. I think we saw Feyenoord beating Man United a couple of years ago. There's history of it, and I think that this AZ side will give them a lot of trouble and they'll win this game.
I think that this RZ team might be found out a little bit if United play a stronger team. If it's one that plays similar to the Astana match, RZ can look to give them a really good game. But I think, if there's loads of pace in this United side, they could take RZ out on the counter-attack if they try a bit too much to attack, as they can be guilty of sometimes in the Eredivisie. If they're too open at the back, their full-backs are really high up the pitch, then United can look to make the most of that space in behind. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Manchester United personally, but I hope that it's a really good game and RZ can get some more coefficient points as well for the UEFA ranking. Now, that was the RZ point of view, but we've also got a Manchester United point of view. I've got Adam here, who does all sorts on Twitter, on YouTube, and we'll put his links in the video description. He's going to give his perspective on the game. Over to you, Adam.
What's happening, everybody? Adam here from Mad Red United fan channel on YouTube. Just going over the upcoming game against Alkmaar and how I see things going down on Thursday night when we travel over to Holland to play Alkmaar away from home. First away game of the Europa League for us, and the way we're going at the moment, I think in terms of how many United fans are actually looking forward to this game, I think it's more in terms of hope rather than belief that we can actually win in this game, because our away record at the moment, we haven't won an away game since PSG in all competitions. So United fans going into the Alkmaar game, I don't think we're fully confident. I do think that there is some worries with a lot of United fans at the moment in terms of our form especially, and our away form, which is abysmal, and we could easily be got at and beaten by any team, whether it be in Europe or at home at the moment. So in terms of confidence going into this game, I'd say it's probably at an all-time low because of just the way we've started this season, and it's going to be a tough game for United. I do think Alkmaar will cause us problems. As for what I expect from Alkmaar, young, vibrant, energetic sort of team, I expect them to probably high-press United and probably trying to make United make a mistake and take the game to United from there. In terms of attacking United, I do think, like I said then, I think the main threat from Alkmaar will come in what they bring and what mistakes they get out of us, because Alkmaar are a young team and, like I said, full of energy, vibrant, a lot of skill and pace in that team. I think our backline isn't the sharpest, especially down the middle. I do think that's where Alkmaar will catch United if they are going to take this game. I expect them to be high energy, full of beans and straight at United's throats. I don't think Alkmaar will have as much of the ball as United, but like I said, I do think Alkmaar's threat will come from when United do have the ball and they try and force a mistake from United, then capitalise on that mistake, and that's where the main threat I think will come from Alkmaar, because we are, like I said, not the fastest team. Full-back positions, we're pretty pacey and we're okay, but down the middle, that's probably where we lack a little bit of pace. So for me, I just think Alkmaar's threat comes from when United have the ball and what they can force out of us in terms of a mistake and then capitalise on that. United's team lineup, I think, will be very similar to the Astana game that we played at Old Trafford on week 1, which will be a lot of younger players in the United team. I do think we'll probably try and play strong at the back, but you'll see a lot of United's younger players and fringe players in this team. And in terms of them, at the moment, the way United are playing this season, are more deadlier and more players that are going to cause more of a threat to the likes of Alkmaar's defence and midfield, the likes of Greenwood, Gomez on their day. Greenwood already showing in 2 starts this season with 2 goals at the age of 17. I think he is probably our best threat at the moment. As bad as that sounds in terms of what United are as a club and the stature of our club, we are actually looking to a 17-year-old at the moment as our main threat. Doesn't bode well for the rest and the future of this season, but right now he is probably our main threat. Rashford isn't playing very well. Martial's still injured. I don't think he will be chanced. Pogba probably won't play because he's still recovering from injury. And don't forget, we are playing Arsenal on Monday as well, and then 3 days later flying over to Holland to play Alkmaar. So there will be a lot of changes in the United team. I do think you'll see the fringe and the younger players rather than some of the well-established players at the moment, even though they're not playing well either. I actually think that Alkmaar will find, like I said, probably belief and encouragement from the United starting lineup. I think they will go at United's centres, at the centre-backs especially for the pace, and I think that's where they will find more joy, because I do think United will play a younger team going forward. That would include Tai Chong as well. In terms of his performances so far this season, I know he came from Ajax, he is Dutch, and to be honest, in the players that have been given their chance this season so far, I think Chong has probably been the worst performer. He just seemed to have been a little bit too much of a step up for him at this stage of his career. The others haven't done as bad. I think out of the bunch of United young players who've had the chance this season so far, I think Chong has struggled the most. He's got a good chance of playing against Alkmaar. I don't think he will play on Monday against Arsenal for us, so I think he has got a chance. He will definitely be on the bench. Whether or not he can up his game enough to convince the United fans that he is good enough, because I think that is a big question at the moment. A lot of United fans don't think he has probably got what it takes, just from what they've seen already this season. He's been great in the under-23s and the reserves, but I don't think he's got what it takes in the first team right now. Whether that's going to change over the course of the season, we don't know, but right now he's not playing well enough. In terms of how I think this game is actually going to go down, I do think that result-wise, I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I just got a feeling that we won't be able to hold Alkmaar out. I do think they will score, and we're not producing a lot up front at the moment, relying on a 17-year-old in Greenwood. Like I said, I just think it's got a draw written all over it. Would not be surprised either way if one of the teams win, but I'm just sitting on the fence and going for a draw.
Thanks for that, Adam. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a like, and if you're new to our channel, new to our website, make sure you subscribe and follow all of our social media platforms. We're here to give you everything Dutch football in the English language.